hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. How about you? Can you hear me?
Yeah, clearly.
Great. Okay. Fantastic. So, Ruchika, I have your resume in front of me.
Okay.
I was just going through that. So, if you can just go over your professional journey so far, it would be really great.
Yeah, sure. So I graduated in London. I did accountancy and economics. And after that, I joined Citigroup as a financial analyst in London. I was in Citigroup from 99 to 2001, where after being a financial analyst in the European proofing branch, I moved offices to another Citigroup area, which was basically looking at credit card risk. After that, I moved to Citigroup in New York, where I was looking at. I joined Citigroup New York as a senior financial analyst, and we were looking at sovereign risk. We were looking at highlighting the risk that we Citigroup held in all the countries around the world. After that, I moved to
Okay.
Dell Austin, and there I was a project manager from 2004 to 2010. And my responsibilities included offshoring some tasks over to India, actually from Austin, and looked at some lockbox processes as well. After that, I we moved to Taiwan for 4 years, and there I worked for a year for a company called MediaTek. I was again a senior analyst there, and I was looking at strategy and how we could work in different markets with MediaTek products. Now, my recent corporate holding here in India has been with Wipro, and I worked for Wipro for 3 years in two different business units. One was in the media vertical. I was taking care of, in the finance world. I was taking care of around $100 million portfolios, and
Interesting.
and then I moved into delivery, and I was looking at not from a finance perspective, from a delivery perspective, but again in the media vertical.
I see. Interesting. So you have a very, very diverse, set of experience, across the globe, in different roles. Uh,
Right.
but you are aware that this particular opening that we are talking about is technical content writing. So exactly why the interest now in technical content writing out of all these diverse experience?
So, working for Wipro, it exposed me to the IT world. And that is actually where I've always been research oriented and process oriented. So, having been exposed to IT through Wipro, I thought this would be a interesting avenue to explore. And very recently, I have actually started my own venture, and I wanted to do this as an additional source of income, really.
Oh, okay, interesting. So you said your own venture is what you are. Have you already started, or still it's just some thoughts brewing in your mind, or
No,
where do you stand?
we piloted the venture last year, May, and Jan this year is when the company was incorporated. Yes.
Oh, great. Yeah, yeah. That's a big step. I mean, leaving the comfort of the companies and starting something of your own.
Yes, yes,
That's really great.
leaving the comfort of a regular paycheck.
Absolutely. So I'm
Exactly.
curious about that. If you can just go a little bit more detail, just if you are comfortable about your venture
Sure,
and
sure.
what do you do. Yeah.
Sure. So the company is called Book Guru. We understand a child's reading level and provide books based on the reading level. The whole premise behind Book Guru is to develop a child in a holistic manner through continuous improvements in reading level. Now, there are various aspects to understanding reading levels. So there are around 27 parameters we look at when determining the reading level of a child. and reading levels can go from a 0.1 to 12.9. Average international reading standards for a fourth grade student in third month should be around a 4.3, but reading levels can vary all over the board. So, in order to ensure a child is developing their reading skills, we have to first determine what reading level the child is at. And we provide books at that reading level. We understand how well the child has understood the text through comprehension quizzes, and we keep on challenging them to more elevated reading levels as their comprehension levels go up. And we ensure that we are covering all 9 aspects of fiction and non-fiction text.
I see. Okay, that's very interesting because what I have also seen is in my professional life here in India is that uh, technically our people are very competent. You can put them anywhere across the globe and they would do really good job. But where we lag usually is in the how they express themselves, how they present themselves, the communication, and so on and so forth.
Exactly. Exactly.
So
And
yeah.
sorry, I interrupted. Sorry.
No, that's all right. Yeah. So what I was saying is, what you are doing is very much in line with, the need of the hour, and you have to start it, really while the kids are growing up, so they are
Right.
comfortable and confident, when they grow up.
And it's very interesting because research shows, and there are number of papers that have been written on this, that when a child reads well, they will do exceptionally well in creativity, in writing, in out of the box thinking, in communication, and all this ties, which is the reason Book Guru looks at it as a holistic development and not just in an academic way, because yes, if you read well, the byproduct is that you will do well academically. But that is not the only focus. Like you said, we are very strong technically, but our communication skills need to improve. We need to come up to speed.
Absolutely,
And
absolutely.
reading is a fundamental aspect of that.
Makes sense. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, that now I can connect the dot. I can understand, like uh, because you are kind of starting your venture and you have probably some extra time, and probably you will also earn a little extra bits. Something
Yes,
like a freelancing or a
and
part
as an
time.
yes, and what's really important here to also connect is the IT is coming from Wipro, but the research and the way of communication and how well you write is coming from Book Guru. So
Interesting.
that's the reason I thought of becoming a technical writer, as a freelance. But you can see that it all ties into a nice little triangle.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. So, what we will do is, we'll go through a couple of questions around technical writing, because one of the things that we want to do here as part of our program at FloCareer is we talk to the job aspirants, whether it's a full-time, part-time, freelancer, and we kind of assess their skills, and then we recommend that okay, this person is a fit for a given job role, and then that
Okay.
video interview plus the entire analysis goes to the hiring companies, so it becomes very easy
Okay.
for them, right? So we want to reduce the frustration from both ends, very
Wonderful.
quickly match the two, right? So with that background, like let me just get into a couple of questions around technical writing, technical content
Okay.
writing. I'm sure you must have come across that as part of your other job functions with tech writing teams. Uh,
Right.
so, uh, to get started, can you just tell me, what would be a typical, day would look like for a technical content writer, or not necessarily a day,
Well,
but what would be the journey, if they take on a project?
Uh, I think the first thing one would look at is putting together a documentation plan. What needs to be included in the publication, and what are the expectations. I think that is the most important, because once you get that clear, then whatever follows thereafter will be very much in line with what is needed. So then obviously we will follow with a preparation of a questionnaire, which we would share with the SMEs and we would interview them, which would help us gather all the data we would need for the publication.
My browser just got.
I'm just
I thought it was going so badly.
okay. I'm back in here.
Okay, bye. Okay. Okay. Do we have to start from the beginning?
No, I think I heard till the point that you kind of go talk to the SMEs and things like that.
Okay. Great. Okay. But Mehul, how will you get the first part of the interview then?
No, it will. The system will connect both of it together. Yeah. So we can start again
Fine.
now. Yeah.
Okay,
So
hold on one. Just one sec.
sure.
Yeah. So we
Okay.
would interview the SMEs and gather all the information that is needed to put the publication together. A first draft would be sent to the required individual, who would then edit and give their feedback. The edits would be incorporated and any other suggestions, and then the final document would be presented and published.
Excellent. Yes. Yeah. That's pretty much you plan, you meet to the SMEs, subject matter experts who actually develop the product, and effectively all simplify the whole technical jargon, so that
Right.
Yeah. Okay, makes sense. Just give me a second. Let me see. Okay, how about a single most important tip for the technical writing that you found very, very useful? Can you just elaborate something, a single tip that is very, very crucial as a technical writer?
I think there are various aspects of technical writing that one should look out for and ensure that they adhere to some guidelines. But if I was to pick a single one, I would have to say to be precise and concise. I don't think there has to be an efficiency in the words used. It has to be efficient and effective, actually. So I would say stay away from flowery language. Just stick to the point and state it clearly.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense, because you want to keep it more user friendly. The user should be able to understand whatever you are trying to explain them. So many times
Right.
you get a new product, and you look at the the large booklet of technical some user guide, and first what you do is discard them, because you feel that you will
Right.
never use it.
Right.
So,
Right. Exactly.
yeah. If it is it's very precise and to the point and very easy to use it, then obviously it will make a lot of sense. Sure, makes a lot of sense. So as this discussion is actually divided in two parts. One is kind of we try to understand more about you. We try to figure out your strengths and the areas of improvement for the kind of a job role that you are attempting to achieve. And then the second half of the this discussion goes into a little bit of a counseling of what you can do to achieve this your dream job, right? So in this case, you are looking for some kind of a part-time or a freelancing tech writing job, right? Because you have also something else you are doing on your own. So I understand your situation, and in that case, being in Bangalore has one big advantage, that there are a lot of startups available, and a lot of these startups require content writing. Unfortunately, you find the talent in technical side. You find talent on the operations side that is very relatively easy to find. But finding a good content writer is always a challenge for all the startups.
Okay.
Given your
That's good for me.
absolutely, yeah. So the two things, is very different in your case. One is you are looking for a part-time slash freelancing job. That's number one. And
Right.
number two, all of your background is not really into the technical writing. So in that case, applying for a larger MNCs or a big companies where there is a full-time job role for tech writing will not really work out for you. It will,
Okay.
if you apply to such places, and it will just be more frustrating. So the best
Right.
thing would be, probably reaching out directly to the founders of various startups.
Okay.
Even they are looking for, somebody to write blogs for them, somebody to write some articles on behalf of them. And a
Right.
good quality work of this thing also helps them a lot in their search engine optimization. So a good content on the website always, ranks those websites in a better, by Google. So you pick any topic, and that it's not necessarily, tech writing doesn't necessarily mean that you always write the user guides or white papers. It can
Right.
be content in any format. So this is the kind of a path that I would recommend. Also, both Jobs for Her as well as FloCareer platforms will help you to connect to such opportunities. Additionally, you will get a login where you can get into that login. You can look at these video interview report, as well as you will have an ability to forward this report to anywhere you are applying for a job. So all those goodies will also be, part of this journey. So
Fantastic.
that's how it will work out from now onwards. uh,
Brilliant. Brilliant.
so do you have any other question for me? Otherwise, we can probably conclude this discussion and take it from there.
Just when will I be hearing back from someone? How soon would I be hearing back from someone?
So as soon as I submit this report, you would be part of, and I will be tagging you that your ideal job role is a technical writer, and then
Okay.
periodically from multiple times in a week, FloCareer forwards such new fresh interviews to relevant employers.
Okay.
So what you can do is you can also go to your profile on FloCareer and look at the profile views. You will be able to see which
Fantastic.
companies viewed your profile, your video
Oh,
interviews,
okay.
right?
Okay. Great.
So you will get to know. Also, if you forward
Okay.
your video interview profile to anybody, we will be able to
Yeah.
tell you whether they have seen your profile or not. So that will also, you will know. So
Oh,
most of the
wonderful.
time when you apply somewhere, it goes into a black box. You have no visibility what.
Yes, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. That's
Here,
yeah, that was my fear. But here there is a lot of visibility into where and what is happening with this interview.
absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, that
Okay,
would be there.
brilliant. Brilliant.
And yeah, okay. So yeah, I wish you a very good luck
Thank
to
you.
your
Thank you
next
very much for your
process.
time.
Sure. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye bye. Bye.